very Charlie's Angels today with your hair. It's gorgeous.
It's all like up everywhere. Yeah, I curled it. Yeah.
Very good.
It won't last very long in the humidity. So normally my hair is just up on top of my head in some kind of bird's nest.
Oh God,
Is it just too hot?
Right, so we're going to be interviewing like people. Hopefully, they'll come in and talk to us.
Yeah.
But I thought it's only fair for our listeners to
meet us first.
Yeah, meet us.
Who
first.
are we?
Yeah, and why we're here.
Yeah,
and stuff. So, let's start with you because I'm going to avoid it.
You're next. I'm going to use the same questions on you.
Oh God. Okay. So whereabouts are you from originally?
Okay, so I'm from Essex.
Okay.
Which is close to London, if anyone doesn't know. Yeah, right. I don't have my Essex accent anymore, but I did at the start. I had, like, when I first moved over, I was just 18, and I had this terrible, like, really full, like, Towie Essex accent, right?
Give us a blast of it.
I don't know how to do it anymore. The thing is, when my friend, like, I have a friend called Chloe, she's still got, like, she lives in Essex.
Chloe.
Yeah, and she still has an Essex accent.
Yeah,
so when she comes over, or when my mum comes over, or something, it kind of like goes back onto you again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that happens to you when you go home.
I don't know.
But you haven't lost your accent. See, well, maybe you
I
have.
sound so Spanish now. I sound really Spanish.
I sound like when I speak in English, not at the moment because I'm speaking to you, but generally when I speak in English, it starts to become like as if I'm speaking to a Spanish person who speaks English as a second language.
Broken.
You definitely have that because you and Jose, you like have learned to speak. Do you know what I mean? You can't just
like broken. Do you know who a friend of mine comes over, Matt, and when he becomes so immersed in like Spain and the language differences that when he speaks English to me, he's like, "Why don't we go to the beach later?" I'm like,
"This is what.
Why are you speaking broken English to me?"
I think I do that as well without realizing.
Come on, let's go, guys. We can, and he like slows it all down for me as if I'm not understanding.
People when they're speaking to Spanish people. Like, some people are just ignorant and carry on speaking in a, like, really thick accent and really fast. And then the person's looking at them like, what are you talking about? And other people take it way too far. Where they're like, how are you today?
Or,
hola.
I love hearing, like, Paula. Hopefully we'll get Paula in.
Yeah.
Paula's one of our mutual friends.
Yeah, she'll come in.
She's from Manchester, and she speaks Spanish with the thickest Manchester
accent. She does. No, she's got a mix of Murciano. Like,
like, her Spanish is brilliant, but, like,
she hasn't lost the accent.
The Manchester accent is like, oh my God, so funny. So you're from
Essex. I'm from Essex. No Essex accent anymore because 10 years now here.
Okay,
well,
you sound pretty.
The funniest story. Well, I got rid of it because we are actually here in Campbell's Bar, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is like where me and Jane met.
Yes.
And it's like the hub of all of our best memories.
If anyone's looking for a summer job, it's the best place to work.
Or coming on holiday, this is the place to come to. And I work here now, so obviously.
We're sponsored by Campbell's Bar and Restaurant. Mike doesn't know that yet, but we are.
Yeah, he'll be paying something, surely, towards the cause, hopefully. So we met in here, definitely. Yeah. And, like, most of, like, our friends, mutual friends, people we know, has been here. Yeah. Most of our memories have been here. Jane used to work here as well for a little while. I used to work here, and I came back to work here. Jane used to come here and get paid to walk around, which is what I do.
Over most of the time. This is when I was young, in my 30s.
Young. Yeah, she's still young. It's fine. Young at heart.
Yeah.
So when I first started working here, so I was 18, I'd been here for like 2 weeks, looked for a job, and Mike gave me a job, surprisingly. And the first couple of weeks, grand, perfect. And I've just said grand, right?
Yeah,
this is giving you a clue of where we're going.
She's a wannabe Irish person.
Totalmente.
As everyone is.
So Mike said to me after the first couple of weeks, look, would you be able to tone that down a little bit? Wait. And I was like, tone what down? And he was like, that thing you do with your voice. And I was like, I don't do anything. But it was really bad. It was like proper, like, water. Do you want a glass of water?
What, darling? Like Pat Butcher kind of thing.
Proper, like, London, Essex. And, you know, it didn't really go with the vibe of this, like, cute little Irish bar. Like, and I was only 18. So I was like,
can you not just Irish it up a little bit? Is this
why I did? The only way I describe another person who I don't know their name is your man. I promise you, I swear, and that's really from like Dubliners because you say that loads.
Oh, your man, your woman, yeah.
I always say, your man, and I say grand.
I have not picked up any Essex slang. Maybe I'll start learning some Cockney slang. Is that Cockney's different?
That's London, but it's the same. But that a lot of that's like carried over into Essex as well because at the end of the Essex and London.
Watching Towie and like work on my
EastEnders. So Essex here for 10 years now. Worked in Campbell's.
So how old are you now then?
So 28.
So you're forever like 18 in my
That's what a lot of people here say, because I moved over so young.
It's mad.
And now...
I can't believe it's 10 years already.
Yeah, I know. 10 years this October, so I'm nearly there.
Right.
I'll have to do a fiesta.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, 10 years is
How
a good...
long am I here then?
So you're 15? No, more than that?
Went on 2011.
Yeah, I moved over in 2006, 14. So you moved over you only moved over like 3 years before me. When I got here, I thought Jane had been here like...
Part of the furniture.
Yeah.
That
in a nice way.
Impact in my first 3 years here. I was like native.
Jane was just drunk in Campbell's like the first 3 years.
And now I have kids and I can't do that.
Well, she's done it the other day, but maybe I'll edit in a clip of you singing. Okay, we'll leave it there.
Please, no, don't. Okay, so you moved here. Okay, so why here? Why did you come to Murcia?
Okay, so my uncle, so my mum's brother, lives in Los Alcázares, which is just up the road from here, from Campbell's.
Yeah.
And he moved here as well. But he must have been about my age now, 27, 28, and he moved here. So he's 50-something now. I won't name his age on here. So he's been here over 25 years. He built up his business here and made a whole life. He's married to a Spaniard as well, and has his house and has properties and the couple of businesses. So full on life. So we'd always come... This is similar to you, I think, because we'd always come here on holiday when we were younger, which you had as well. So your parents had a holiday home. Yeah, and my grandparents had a holiday home in Los Narejos as well, same as you. So we used to come as well when we were like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I knew the area already. It's true I didn't know Rhoda, which is where we are now. Like, I'd never been to Rhoda.
Yeah, I was only in the like touristy part.
Yeah, we were always down.
There's like a bridge separating Los Alcázares and Rhoda.
And that makes such a difference.
Yeah. And like once you go over this little bridge, it's like suddenly you're in the wild country of
real Spain. No one speaks English, and there's only an Irish bar randomly.
It's like a 50-minute away from the touristy zone.
Yeah. So I did only know like Los Alcázares, to be honest. But I said, well, I know the area. I know a few people. I'll come over for a gap year when I finish sixth form, which I don't know if you call it sixth form.
Years,
before you go to uni, like the last year before you go to uni. So I finished that. I got a place in Brighton University to study film and TV, actually. So it's a bit similar to like what we're doing now. Yeah.
Wow.
But like the behind the scenes, not the star
like me.
I would be filming you, you know?
Right.
Not the star like me, you say. Sorry. The real stars are behind. You don't see them, right, Jane? You just like rock up, get your makeup done.
Behind the scenes.
But I love all of that. Like we were just talking about this video that I'd done the other day as well, and I love like the editing, the filming and stuff.
Me too.
I've always enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't know what to study, because when you're 18, I feel like you get really forced into university.
I was like,
I think it's the wrong time to be making people make this huge life decision.
Gap years are always a good.
So I said, I'll take a gap year and I'll see how I feel when I come back. But yeah, I'll go for this because I like this. Maybe it won't get me many jobs, as you know, like in that world is a difficult world to get into.
Yeah.
But I said, look, I'll have a degree. The important thing is having a degree.
Yeah.
So I'll do this for a year. I'll come
and set that off if you lived in Spain.
So I said, I'll rock back up after a year or so, like, and 10 years later, never went back to Brighton uni.
You didn't go back to, obviously you didn't go back to your university.
No, because you can defer.
Do you regret it, or?
I do sort of nowadays when you're getting into like older adult life, is one way of saying it. I don't want to call myself, she's so old.
She's so old.
I'm not old, but I mean like, I don't know. At the start, I didn't think a degree. Well, I still don't think a degree really makes a difference because, you know...
it's not the be-all and end-all.
No, myself and other people I know that have had a degree, especially like us speaking English, living in Spain.
Yeah.
We do have loads of job opportunities, to be honest. But obviously, you're never going to earn as much as you could with a degree.
And also, you say we've got loads of job opportunities, but like... It's difficult to kind of get anything apart from bar work or teaching. That's it. Like, what are the other opportunities? If you don't have Spanish... Like even working in a supermarket, like you kind of need Spanish.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah, that's true.
I mean?
But I mean, there's always like a job for someone. Like say you move over and you think, oh god, I don't have any like experience in anything else. You don't need experience to work in a bar here.
No,
and you don't need experience to teach.
The job. No,
they might ask for the odd course that you have to do, but that gets really easy.
Yeah.
To get a teaching job.
All they want is like is it weird? Native speaker? Like is that weird for listeners to hear us use the word native? But that's what they call English speakers, native speakers. That's where I work in the school, I'm the native. Yeah,
they want you to. Yeah, they want teachers that are native. Yeah, English, Irish, Scottish, whatever.
Welsh.
As long as English is your first language.
Yeah.
they don't care if there's a Spanish teacher that has like the highest level of English in the world.
Yeah.
Which is stupid, really, because they probably speak way better English than we do. So I think it's a bit. But anyway, we're like taking their jobs just for the sake that we were born speaking
English speakers. Now I know it is a bit like, because I've got a couple of friends who have trained and are, you know,
teachers, done their TEFL,
and I find it very difficult to get. But Spanish people.
Oh, the Spanish,
and their English is like a really high level.
Yeah.
Now it's not
just for not being native.
It's like a few odd little mistakes, but like you'd never bloody know kind of thing. And
but they'd hire an English speaker with no
I'd probably get the job over them.
Yeah.
Like that must be so fucking annoying.
Yeah. But then they can go on and like, cause as they have a DNI, which is the Spanish like identification card. Like we don't have them in England. I don't know if you have them in Ireland, but in Spain it's great because we have one, but ours is a TIE. Well, do you have
NIE? I have NIE.
But do you have a card with a photo on it?
No.
I'm sure, but she's not affected by the Brexit, so we won't go into that today.
You left, your choice.
So don't
complain now.
Magic card that I have to be able to live here. Anyway, that's a story for another day. So they have like a national card, which they're like, they use it to get into clubs. They use it to buy alcohol. They also use it to it's like a number.
Yeah, it's like your
like
ID.
A person, like a. I was gonna say, like your ID, but in the UK we use like our driving license. Yeah. But that's not the same as this because you use this. You just go through all your documents. It's like a passport number.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they'd have a dinner. So they're Spanish, so those teachers can go in and do the oposición.
Yeah.
And the oposición is like a big state exam, so that you can work as a teacher for state public schools.
Like I love Spain. I love living here, but that is just such a fucked up system, like that oposición thing. Like it's like you'd spend 5 years, whatever it is, doing your teaching degree, and then you have to do this big, like it's like the Hunger Games kind of thing. You have to do this big.
You have like 60 plazas,
national,
and there's like 400,000 people going for this 60 placements.
Exactly. So it's like the survival of the fittest kind of thing. It is like the teaching equivalent to the Hunger Games.
They have that not just with teaching, but with like
all these teachers trying to kill each other to try and get places. Like it's nuts.
It's teachers, doctors,
doesn't
police,
make any sense.
All of this. Yeah,
that's really. I think that really needs to change because it's not fair. You work your arse off, like.
Well, you could work in the private, but
it's no guarantee that you're going to get a good job out of it.
No.
Yeah, you can work private, but you have to pay.
No, you have to pay, and you always get paid less working in the private and less like benefits. But anyway,
okay.
So we're going.
That's what you do. So what was my question?
I don't know.
Why are you here?
Oh, because I was going to go to uni and I didn't, and I was saying that a degree doesn't really matter. Like I look back on it now and I think, maybe like I would like to do a degree at some point.
Yeah.
But I'm in no rush.
Yeah.
And I have no need to for any particular job that I'm looking to do. Like I don't need to, but I also feel like I could have done it. But I'm 100% like pleased with the decision I took at 18, at 19 in that case, because I'm happy that I stayed here. Like I don't regret it.
Yeah. Why do you love Spain? Why have you stayed for 10 years?
So I was so certain after like the first 6 months. So I was like, I don't think I'm going to go back.
Yeah, it's funny.
You know, I think this is it. I think you either know or you don't know. Like if you need to be here for like a year or two to be like, do I? Then you don't want to be here because it's one of these places, especially our area. We're really like we've chosen them, in my opinion, like one of the best places to live in this. At all. Only lived here for 10 and 14 years.
I know,
obviously,
and been coming here as kids.
Yeah, like 20 years. So it's just it's an area that is like it's safe in general, it's clean in general. You know, there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of things to do, and it's a nice mix. The weather, obviously, Murcia region is probably one of the best climates in Spain. Yeah. Very hot, which would
very hot.
It's getting there now.
In August.
It's like
10
in the morning, and it's like
hell
30 degrees.
On earth in July and August. I would love to be able to escape. Like,
will you go to the mountains sometimes?
I go to the mountains where it's cool.
Or I would go to like the north of Spain. Like if I was an expat, like a real expat, which is what we're not expats, unfortunately. We wish expats are like retired and drinking their like tinto de verano all day and playing golf.
Gin and tonics at 4 in the afternoon.
Work and deal with things. So if I was an expat for real life, I would leave Murcia in July and August and I would go to like Galicia or somewhere in the north of Spain, which is like the perfect temperature.
Green.
Yeah, green, bit of rain.
Do you ever like get cravings like in August for like duvets and pillows and like fire?
We only took our duvet off the bed like last week and I was like, I don't want to take it off. I love it. I hate just like a little flimsy sheet.
I know.
Or like sweating and like one leg out and everyone's and the dog is in the way and it's not romantic, that's for sure. I can tell you that. Winter is a much more romantic bedtime.
Your humid hair, sweaty.
The fan is on number 3 and I'm like, put the fan up to number 6.
Oh God.
It's too early in the year.
Oliver, my son, I've got 3 kids, and Oliver snuck into my bed the other day and I had the ceiling fan on. He's like, it's freezing, Mommy.
Freezing?
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, you're so Spanish.
So yeah, so no, but the best, other than like the heat, is probably one of the worst things. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but after 10 years, every year it still like hits me in the face, and I'm like, no, I always say to people in the bar where they're like, you know, sunburned, they're in their flip flops, and I've still got my jeans on, and I'm like, you know, we're acclimatized, which we are. Like, we're not when it's like in April and it gets the odd day of like 22 degrees. You know, we're not like first out. We've still got our coats on. Like the Spanish do that. They dress for the season, not the weather. So people find it really strange when like it's still spring, which it was until yesterday.
Like swimming on the beach and we're walking by with our scarves on.
Yeah, and we're like, what are they? Yeah, we're like having a coffee in the beach bar, and all the expats are like stripped off. You know, which is I don't judge them. Why not? Like. We're just not. A, it's not our lifestyle, and B, we are more acclimatized to the weather, so we don't feel the heat, and we know what's coming. Yeah, exactly. Well, if I start stripping off in April, what am I going to do in August?
Little by little, otherwise, oh my God. But do you remember when you arrived in Spain as a kid, and they'd open the like airplane doors, and that big whoosh of like oven air, like hot oven in your face, and the smell of the place, and you know, I used to love it. Yeah. And now
that is the worst thing in the whole fucking world.
It's just so hot.
I love that whoosh when you walk into a shopping centre or like El Corte Inglés, and it's like the cold air. That's the opposite. So yeah, so apart from the heat, which we still aren't used to, and like today's the first day of summer. Yeah. Whereas here it's been summer for about a month, obviously. Yeah. But like officially.
Oh, no, it's been a bit shite, the weather. Like we had those floodings and stuff.
We're flooded for like 10 minutes, and then we'll go into that one day, like the flooding situation here. But wind. That could be another negative.
Drives me insane.
It was like hot wind as well.
So would you go back?
No. That was such an easy answer.
Next question.
Right, I wouldn't. Like, there's nothing I would want apart from my family. Like, that's the only reason I visit England. But they come over here and they have such much like better time.
Yeah, that's a thing.
When they visit me, like I barely go back. It's not a holiday when I go back. You go to England, a glass of wine is like £10 or something stupid. It's freezing, it's cold. No one goes to the pub. No one does anything. It's like, what is this?
I was in Wales there.
Just a couple of weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago, and I ordered 2 large glasses of wine.
That is your first mistake. You're going to order the 175ml, which is like small.
What's the point? I'd just be going back to the bar in like 10 minutes. I ordered like the large one, 2 of them. It was like $19.90.
For 2 glasses of wine. Yes. And that's not even like London. Like I live near London, so like it's been contaminated by London prices. Like,
I believe it.
That's crazy.
I was like, what? Sorry?
I think that I didn't mean a bottle.
Let's go to Centra or whatever the equivalent news agency is.
Oh my God, Jane, that was what you did back in the day. Like,
I was like,
on.
Yeah, I know, but it's so expensive. You'd be bankrupt.
I know. I don't know. That's why people don't go.
Wine here, like an expensive one. What?
€3?
Yeah. And that's a big glass.
Yeah, and nice wine, Spanish wine, not like New Zealand. Not that I have nothing against anyone listening who's New Zealand or like California.
She hates you.
But I don't drink those wines. But we can't really buy them. Like, when have you ever had in a bar?
Why would you?
We just have Spanish wine.
Or New Zealand wine or South African wine.
We even drink Murcian wine. We have wine in Murcia.
Yeah. What's that big famous one?
Verdejo. Oh yeah, Juan Gil, and then Oh. So yeah, no, I'd rather
about booze.
Yeah, I was there. I'm like, we're in a bar, so we could easily go get a glass of wine. If we have to film in the afternoon, we'll just steal a glass of wine off Mike.
So, how's your Spanish, Phoebe?
You tell me. What do you think?
Annoyingly brilliant. Like, I remember when you moved over, you had no Spanish.
No Spanish when I met. None. I threw myself in the deep end with various Spanish boyfriends to try and, bit of field work. Bit of trying to
but your auntie or your husband
my auntie, my uncle's wife,
she had no English.
Exactly.
And you were kind of stuck with
and I lived with them at the start.
So you were learning,
so I was pushed in the deep end.
Right, still. Well, okay, how did it, like, I mean, her Spanish is so good. Like within 3 months, I was like, "Who the fuck is this?"
Yeah, I remember that. In less than in less than a year, I felt like I was like, right, I'm fluent,
but not just fluent. Like you had like
the sayings and the accent,
and everything. Like I honestly think like I was never great at languages in school. I really struggled to do them. Everything was learnt off by heart. It didn't come naturally.
Yeah,
and then like you obviously have a really good ear for languages that you just seem to remember and pick it up. And maybe it's because you were younger as well. Like I moved over when I was 30.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was because I was like, I felt I was thrown in like the deep end.
Yeah.
With my auntie. You didn't like go out and live with Spanish. Like you weren't living with anyone Spanish. I know
Jose.
Yeah, but you were speaking to him in English.
Yeah, Jose's not Spanish. Got a very English Irish name.
Yeah.
No, but he spoke English to me. Yeah.
This is what I mean. When you're forced to speak in Spanish, you have no other choice but to learn it. And, it's like when a baby, like, so your kids, when they've been babies, they grow up, and obviously they've had 2 languages, so that's been a whole different story. But a baby is forced to speak because it has to say, I need a wee, I need a poo, I need to eat, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
It's the same when you're learning a language. I found myself in a position, I know, but I was living with someone Spanish, and I had to like express what I wanted, what I needed.
But how did you like?
I don't know. He was talking all the time.
Did you have lessons before you came?
No.
So you had no lessons. Like this is the thing I find fascinating. Like where did you even begin?
No.
To
like, I don't know.
Vocabulary book. Like
no. I used to Google things.
Like, were you just like what is this called?
Yeah.
Cuchara.
Exactly. In my little, I had a little apartment. They lived in like a finca.
Taken me like 50 years.
I put Post-it notes on every single object in the house, like in the little apartment I was staying in. So it was like, mira, espejo, glass, vaso. So I just put the word like vaso, and then like mesa, silla, on like my whole house. So everywhere. And I'm a boyfriend I had at the time. I did it one day, and he walked into and he was like, "What the fuck have you done? Why is that?" And I'm like, stressed out. Mesa, silla, vaso, like stressing myself out. And that was like a vocab thing though, because I think vocab is the hardest thing to learn in any language, because there's just so much of it, and the only way to learn it is like that, or like just repetitiveness. So I don't honestly, people say like, how did you learn? Like, I want to be like you. How did you do it? Just spending time with Spanish, like forcing yourself to spend time. Like, here it's very easy to just hang around with
English people,
with expats,
or and like even like because I work in the school, like I'm not allowed to speak Spanish to the kids, right? I try not to.
That's the same here. Like we only speak in English here in the bar.
English to my husband who's Spanish. I'm speaking English in a Spanish school. I'm speaking English with my friends. The only people I practiced with was my mother-in-law, who had no English at all, and my nieces. Like that was it. And it took ages. Like I was mute for 3 years.
But you're I think you've improved a lot since I known you.
I have. Like it's a constant work in progress, really. But like, I mean, can you say, like, for example, could you say something like your tax is due at the end of the month?
Could I?
Yeah,
I could.
Go on then.
But I don't know what like the word for tax is. I guess impuesto. Thing is, in Spanish, there's like one word has like 7 words in Spanish. So like tax is like, we could call it impuesto, IVA, declaración de la renta, which by the way, they're giving me a cent. They're returning to me 1 cent. So the declaración de la renta is, what is it in English? Like the tax return that you do every year. So I done it the other day, and I'm getting 1 cent. I don't have to pay out. Like
what in the they're giving you back?
Yeah, I said
that is that a joke?
I was like, what does this mean? Is this some kind of like? What is the point of that? I'd rather them just say, look, you're owed a cent, but we won't bother sending it to you. And I'm like, yeah, grand. Well, listen, and they'll take like 3 months to pay you that cent as well. This is the worst thing. So I can't wait for that to come up in my bank account, like plus 001.
Dinner's on you when that comes in.
Pay my mortgage. So I feel comfortable enough like speaking in Spanish in front of Spanish people.
Well, you do translating and everything.
Translating.
So you're not only like just dealing with like, oh hi, how's the weather?
You're dealing with like medical. And I will be full out there and be like, I don't know what that word means. Like I will happily say that in Spanish. I need you to explain it in a different way, because they can hear my level of Spanish. So they can't doubt my level of Spanish. But there's words that even in English I wouldn't know what they mean, let alone in Spanish.
Exactly. But like that's the thing, people get so embarrassed speaking Spanish, and also the Spanish get embarrassed speaking English. It's like they're afraid they're gonna sound and look stupid. I mean, like who was I talking to the other day, and they're like, oh, where do you live? And I was like, Murcia. They're like, oh, Murcia. Oh, I like the lisp, Murcia. And I was like, what? That's how you say it.
But they'd say it like Murcia.
Yeah. So they were like, but I'm so like,
judging you as if you were doing it wrong.
Yeah,
and you were actually saying it in Spanish.
Well, but like that probably would have embarrassed me, like when I first read, because I've been so self-conscious of the accent and trying to do an accent. Feel ridiculous.
Yeah,
like going, hola, mi amo es. On this weird Spanish accent. But now I couldn't give two hoots. No, like I'm just like that's and I'm not embarrassed as well. If I go, what's the name for this? It's you put water in.
I ask people like you at the start you think that's like really embarrassing, but now I will happily say to a Spanish person because they can hear us speak and they know we speak Spanish. But it's completely normal that we do not know every single word. But I don't know every single word in the English language. I describe it to people as in like if you lift up the car bonnet or whatever it's called. See, is it even called a bit? No, it's not called a bonnet. It's a bonnet. Where like the engine is and the oil and stuff, right? I can't name. Could you name every single one of those parts?
No.
In English.
I don't know. No.
So how would you expect...
Capacitor? I have no idea.
Exactly. You would read it and you read a list of these parts. Like say you have a vocabulary list. Well done. Yeah, that's it. Battery? They have battery. Wait, no, you have an electric car. This gets really confusing.
Very liquid container for your windscreen wiper thing. I have no idea.
So you wouldn't know what it's called in English. You'd see a list of vocab. You'd be like, I wouldn't be able to know what I've never seen those words in my life. But a mechanic would have, obviously. Yeah. So in Spanish... I have no idea. So people say you're fluent. I said, well, I'm not fluent because I'm not fluent in English because I don't know those words, for example, and I don't know them in Spanish.
Yeah.
I'm fluent in English for what I need, and I'm fluent in Spanish for what I need. So
yeah. Well, she's bloody good, and it's depressing. Oh. Anyway, so what are some of the big differences between like the UK and Spain that you've noticed, like culturally or I don't know in general? What's the big?
There's a lot. I think there's quite a lot. I'd say the social side of life.
Yeah,
like we were talking about, I think it's to do with the prices of life in the UK. The Spanish, and which we definitely do, like we have definitely taken this on ourselves, and a lot of people we know who aren't Spanish, but it's like that laid back way of life because there's no traffic here. Like I've lived in Madrid as well, and yes, there's traffic there, but again, it's not the same as at home.
Yeah,
I lived in a village, and even from the village to my local town, Chelmsford, you'd be stuck in traffic.
I know.
Which I find mental. Anywhere you go.
And it's like a traffic jam in Portmarnock village. Like in a big one, you'd be stuck there for like 10 minutes.
Accidents, and then I'm like near the M25, the famous M25. So again, and that like stresses you out.
Yeah.
The amount of cars that are on the road. Yeah. There's not as many here. Again, we can't talk for like Madrid and Barcelona, but I have lived in Madrid, and yes, there's traffic, but I don't know, it's not the same.
No.
Whereas in the UK, I was like beep, 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 boom, 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 boom. Traffic light changes to green, beep. Like it's stressful. It's stressful.
Definitely a different attitude,
and that reflects their general attitude. Like everyone says that like Spanish and Italian have this like genio. I don't know how you say it in English. See, this is what happens. You forget words in English. They have like un pronto, where they're like they're easily aggravated, or like that they're very like over the top. Lose their temper. Maybe Italians, I don't know, but Spanish like definitely not the case.
So they're quite.
They have like a personality.
They look as if they're losing their temper. Because of the way they speak, they're so like, animated and loud.
Yeah,
my God,
loud. Yeah.
Because I remember when I first moved here, I was like in La Esquina, that's a little Spanish bar.
Yeah, in Dolores.
Dolores. And there was two old men, and they looked as if they were really shouting, going at
and they were totally talking about football or something.
They were talking about oranges. And I said to Jose, what the hell? Oh my God, a fight is going to break out here. Yeah. What are those lads talking about? This is awful.
I've had this before,
And he was like, he started laughing. He's like, they're arguing over which brand of orange
is better,
is sweeter at this time of year, or some ridiculous thing. And I was like, oh my God, I thought they were about to rip each other's throats out.
I had that when we're down at our house in Los Narejos. I was there with my mum having a drink outside on the terrace, and our next door neighbour, who's Spanish, was shouting across the road, like as in like walk down and go and talk to them. No, they'll have like general like conversations across the road. Yeah. One day was shouting at them, and they were screaming and shouting at each other. Yeah. So my mum goes, "What's going on? Like, give me the goss, because like you speak Spanish. Tell me what they're talking about. They're arguing about what's going on in the in the street. There must be some community problem. Yeah. Screaming and shouting at each other." I said, "No, they're just inviting them to a party later." Cut to 2 hours later, Juan, my neighbour, who he's passed away now, bless him. So he was in his like 60s or 70s. Cut 2 hours later, he's across the road like this, giving it this. And I told him, Mum, he's been invited to a party, and he's like going for it in his 70s. God, so she thought they were having like some kind of like heated discussion at least. Yeah. They were just talking about party later that day. So yeah, so I'd say there's a stereotype of Spanish and Italian, Mediterranean people having this like bad temper. Yeah. But they're way more laid back.
Way more.
There's no Karens that we have like at home. There's no one is a Karen.
Unless it's only expats who have that kind of like with the heat rage, when it gets hot.
Yeah, they do
lose their tempers. And that's like definitely something to do with the weather. Like,
Speaking of heat, it's getting a bit warm in here, so I think we're going to have to wrap this up, Jane. Although this whole time we have been talking about me, basically.
You're so self-obsessed.
We were meant to be asking you some questions as well, but anyway.
Your life is too interesting.
There's so much to talk about. I could carry on if we wanted to.
Oh God, and she could.
But it's too hot. So if you want, next time we'll ask you the questions.
Oh no, I'm going to be grilled under the spotlight.
So you have a bit more time of preparation.
I'm going to invent some stories now to make my life sound amazing. Okay, well, that's it for this time, and I hope you enjoyed our first ever episode of This Is the Life. And if you've got any comments or stories or anything, you can catch us on social media, or our email is Phoebe, what is our email?
It's thisisthelifemurcia@gmail.com.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to send us any questions or any comments about the podcast.
Yeah. Well, this has been lovely.
Yes, it's been lovely.
Isn't she a delight?
Aren't I just?
Well, listen, talk to you soon, everyone. And have a great summer.
Thanks for listening. Adios.
Adios.